Alright, for those who saw my community post or whatever that I posted yesterday, apologies for the lack of video. I was having some really stupid technical difficulties with my iPad. But anyway, today we are talking about the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP for good measure. And because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are wondering, no, I don't have the Game Boy Micro. Especially because if any of you know anything about the Game Boy Micro nowadays, its price secondhand is anything but micro. Like, it's crazy. But being real here, I said in the video that I uploaded when talking about the Game Boy Color, that was the very first Game Boy that I ever had. This was always my favorite. The Game Boy Advance is just mad iconic to me. And as a side note, there is a fourth Game Boy Advance. It's the original base model. It is a Glacier Game Boy Advance, but I'm not showcasing it in this video because I want to make sure that it stays in as good of a condition as possible, and I will get to that at some point in this video, don't you worry. But anyway, as for this base model Game Boy Advance, this custom-made red and yellow model, once again, it was done by God of Gaming, that website that I've mentioned multiple times in this series. Meaning that, naturally, has a backlit screen and rechargeable battery mod. Rechargeable via USB-C, by the way. But it is actually a reference to Iron Man in terms of its color scheme. And I thought it was very appropriate to have the Invincible Iron Man be the cartridge that's pretty much inside of it at all times. I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to play any games right now. I'll get to that later on at the end of the video. But the main reason why I'm not playing this game in this video is because it's one of those games, like, you know, where it's actually very short, but, oh, we're going to artificially extend its length by having it be freaking difficult, you know what I mean? But anyway, on to talking about how the Game Boy Advance, at least in my opinion, controls. It's kind of interesting having it be horizontal, and I bring that up because, for those who haven't seen it before, go on Google Images and look up Project Atlantis Game Boy Advance prototype, and what they actually had in mind, it was going to be vertical like every other model. The screen was going to be up here. It was going to be, like I said, very similar. But they actually had a plan to have 4 face buttons, akin to something like a Super Nintendo controller. That would have been really interesting if that ended up being the case. And I don't know this for a fact, but that might have been at least partially why the Game Boy Advance SP is vertical. But anyway, back to the Game Boy Advance base model. It can feel kind of cramped at first. I think a lot of people who grew up with the Game Boy Advance will agree with me on that. Like, it feels a little bit cramped. But once again, at first, for me personally, it's not that much of a problem because not a lot of games actually use the trigger buttons, at least not for anything actually important, at least out of the games that I've played. A and B are still as clicky as ever. The D-pad is not clicky, but not too spongy either, if that makes sense. And the L and R triggers, which, you know, this is new for the Game Boy line of systems, pretty responsive. Thankfully, they're not, you know, like that loud or whatever. But they're responsive, and they get the job done. Up here, so I'm pretty sure everyone who had Pokemon, I think it was specifically Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald, I don't think it was the case with Ruby and Sapphire, probably remembers that this right here, that actually, it's not just for link cables, but it's also for the wireless adapter. I didn't really comment on the whole link cable thing because, well, I didn't actually have that many multiplayer Game Boy or Game Boy Color games. I did have a lot of multiplayer Game Boy Advance games, so that's why I'm bringing it up here. And these right here are supposed to be for... So the wireless adapter actually has these... I don't know what they're called, but you like press them in to both release and attach the wireless adapter so it doesn't come loose, which that's actually pretty cool. Now, on to the Game Boy Advance SP. We are starting with the, at the time, Toys R Us exclusive version. It's fashioned after SpongeBob Millicent SquarePants. This is actually not my original SpongeBob Game Boy Advance SP, for those who've been following my channel. This is a replacement, and the reason why I got a replacement is actually because the face is always the first thing to go. Like, I see it scratched off or rubbed off, and then I see a lot of people list the SpongeBob Game Boy Advance SPs that are used for very low prices because they don't know how to take care of them. It doesn't really infuriate me, it's just kind of hilarious, honestly. But this is actually also from God of Gaming, and this is important because... multiple brightness levels, not just 2 of them. It's insane. Or no, more than 2 brightness levels, not just 2. It's probably a better way of phrasing it. That first one sounded redundant. But anyway, I believe it has a maximum of 11. And for context, let me do this real quick to showcase how bright it is. Look at how bright that is. It's incredible. Don't put it all the way up to 11, though, because it can actually drain the battery very quickly. But talking about the Game Boy Advance SP itself, however, yeah, things are a lot more slimmed down, especially when the console itself is folded up. The buttons definitely are a lot more slimmed down as well. Like, might be kind of hard to tell, but they're both flat and they kind of stick out at the same time, which is a decent balanced strike. And the L and R buttons are basically integrated perfectly into the design of the console itself, whereas with the original, they're integrated into the design of the console, but they also kind of, you know, like they kind of stick out. You can kind of see that right there. The SP, I think a lot of people will agree, is the better version. Although I know some people who have a personal preference for this over the SP. Probably more so nowadays because of things like the custom Game Boy Advance scene going on, like I just showcased back there. But yeah, this is not my only Game Boy Advance SP, as you saw earlier. Over here, this is my very first custom-made Game Boy Advance SP, is the Gunmetal Boy Advance SP. And this is actually a reference to Gunmetal, aka Johnny Atma. And I know this is a Game Boy Advance related video, and I'm not, you know, like plugging his channel, but I just wanted to mention him real quick. His thing is, for those who are unfamiliar with Gunmetal, what he does is he takes video game music and he turns them into metal covers, and they are just the best. But anyway, on the outside, I'm purposefully hiding the shoulder buttons right here. On the outside, just your average Onyx Color Game Boy Advance SP, right? Well, and this was a very hyper-specific request, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Some of the buttons are red, some of them are blue, right down to the L trigger being red and the R trigger being blue, and even the power switch is red. This is actually a reference to the fact that half of the Gunmetal logo is red and half of it is blue. It's really, really cool that I was actually able to get this done, like I said. It's also IPS. Which means that it also has more than 2 brightness levels. It's really amazing. But yeah, before I get on to showcasing, I think I'm going to do only 2 games. You know, I think I'm going to keep that consistency. I wanted to talk about just, you know, both how mad iconic the Game Boy Advance is for me, and something very, very special that happened recently. So, the Game Boy Advance, I took it with me everywhere, and obviously I still do. Like, I have this special backpack that I obviously can't fit on the camera because it's way too big. But yeah, I took it with me everywhere in grade school, high school. Again, I still carry it with me everywhere. It's just my absolute favorite out of the Game Boy line. Even after having the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color in my collection all these years later, I really don't think anything is going to topple the Game Boy Advance in terms of mad iconicness. But speaking of the Game Boy Advance and being mad iconic and really special, it's upstairs. It's being displayed on a display stand from Rose Color Gaming. I had a hard time remembering the name of the website at first for some reason. But also, it was a birthday gift from a very close friend of mine. And I should also point out that his Game Boy Advance, the one that he gave me, he had it since 2001. And I think that says a lot about just how much he was willing to trust me with it. As I said earlier, it is the Glacier Color Game Boy Advance. That's the this one, but the body of the system is like that glacier blue color. The buttons are like that grayish white / off-white, whatever. And he even sent me a personalized note, which is naturally also upstairs on display as well. It was just one of the most special, amazing things I could have ever received, ever. So, let me close out the video by playing... I think I'm gonna play a little bit of Wario Land 4 and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which, by the way, this is just my opinion, don't take this personally, but side note, I personally think that Amazing Mirror is the much better Kirby game on the Game Boy Advance, because I'm not bashing it, but Nightmare in Dreamland, that's just a remake of Adventure. Again, it's a good remake, but still just a remake nonetheless. Which one should I play these games on? Game Boy Advance SP, why not? Oh, before anyone asks, out of curiosity, Ninja Turtles for Game Boy Advance. I'm purposely not playing that in this video because I already did a video on that, dang it! Make sure the cartridges respond, because I actually had some difficulties getting the cartridges to read when I was attempting to record. Oh yeah, that's right. You can definitely tell that I was trying to record because I was in this level during my previous attempt at recording this level. The expression on his face. That's definitely one thing that people praise Wario Land for, is the amazing animation. But anyway, I'm probably going to do 2 levels of Wario Land 4 and a little bit of Amazing Mirror, and then I'm going to wrap up this video. No, go down there. Yes, thank you. You know what? Sure, why not? Sorry, I have a little bit of the sniffles. Oh, spearhead, I think that's what they're called. No, spear masks. Hold on. Let me just the brightness level. It's kind of a little too bright, to be honest. Let me fix that. Oh, it's not pop. It's not star. It's okay. Giant diamond. No. No, I'm not gonna bother with the bonus puzzle thing. Really like the little details, attention to detail in regards to the music, like how, for example, it distorts when you do certain things or when you're in a certain form. Always like that kind of stuff in my video games. I thought there was a place to... Oh, never mind. It's just to get some gems up there. Thought there was like a secret passage, but no. Alright. I don't see Teaser. Did I miss him? Also, yes, haha, Keezer, Geezer, I get it. Oh. Oh, that's right. Since he was already in my inventory when I looked on the pause screen, I forgot. Because this is actually a previously completed save file. Forgot about that. I know I'm going backwards, but... Oh yeah, it's just to get a high story. Is that little, like, weird animation. But yeah, I know I'm going backwards, but... Hey, why not? Especially, not to mention, I actually really do like this theme. Probably one of my favorite tutorial level themes ever. Stop existing. Thank you. The expression on their face when you destroy them, like their eyes are bugging out. Again, the animation in this game is amazing. I forget who did the sprite work for this game.
I also can't remember what the whole point of that red bar is. Oh, there's a gem up there. There's no gem up there. Nope. I was trying to jump. Game. Clear a path. Get rid of you and you. And now we charge! I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a rock or a hacky sack or whatever, but I always see it as a potato for some reason. I don't know why. No! It's on here on screen too late. Die, please. Back to the music thing real quick. It even comes down to things like the music slowing down when you crouch. That is a really nice touch. I can't charge into it? Oh, there we go. My neighborhood's very noisy. Pay no mind to that. Happens a lot. Good lord. Raging spear masks, I believe they're called. If you destroy them, they yield the most coins, at least for that enemy standards. I'm trying to remember how it goes, but I think it's base form is yellow. If you ground pound in there, yeah, I can do it right here actually. Whirling spear masks, I think they're called. Whirling tornado, whatever. And raging spear masks. I think I have that name right. Oh, I'm supposed to ground pound. Yes, very scary time limit thing. Look at how intimidating that is. I had to make that joke. Anyway. I don't have any plans on actually completing a level in Amazing Mirror, because that's one of those games where if you know anything about Amazing Mirror, it's very open world. It can take a while, and there's a lot of different routes. So I'm just gonna play a little bit of it, like in general, and not like gonna complete an actual level. If that makes sense. All right. Love a little opening animation. This game also has a completed save file, which naturally I also kept, because I'm just one of those people, you know what I mean? Like if I get a game that has an already completed save file, I keep it because I want to just like explore the game as it is. You know what I mean? Where's the first world? Like that's actually a huge part of the problem too. Like I'm trying to figure out where the first world is because this game is open. Oh. You know what? Oh wait, that's... I was about to say let's go for any level in the game, but that's level 9. That's like the most hardest level in the game, I believe. Nope. Again, it's so confusing. I'm sorry. Sure, why not? I need wheel. I don't have wheel on me. Oh, wait, I always forget that he can do that for some reason. In areas like that. Not in games like that, but like in areas like that for some reason. I don't know why. Burning! Burning never actually came back for whatever reason. Also, did I get that back? Yeah, burning never actually came back for whatever reason. Oh wait, they kind of merged it with fire, didn't they? So it would be redundant. No. Oh well. Careful. Oh wow. Yeah, that's not showing up very well on the camera. There we go. What just happened? What just happened? I don't think I actually fell off the cliff. I have no idea what that was all about. That was very strange. Oh, I think that's what happened. I fell into that guy's mouth and he caught me and then he ran off the edge. Okay, it's very strange. But hey, video game logic, am I right? No, nothing of the stone ability. In most contexts, at least. What just hit me? What attacked me? Okay, that was kind of pointless. I thought that gave an ability, I guess not. I think in another game they actually gave an ability. Sword Kirby, an absolute classic. No. I attack you with my sword. You know what, just for funsies. Oh no, that's the wrong button. I thought that was to call my buddies. Also, here we go, that's the level that I wanted to go to. No! God, I really am sucking at this, and I have no idea how or why. Why with the respawning enemies, though? Fine, I'll take beam. Again? I'm not entirely sure what's going on with me today. Actually, yes I am. I've been really tired today. I'm pretty sure that's the... Shut up. The reason why I said shut up is because it reminds me of the Let's Play curse. Maybe if I actually shut up, I'll be able to focus. No. Yeah. Alright.
Now that I'm done, pardon the pun, sucking at this Kirby game, I think I'm actually going to end things off here. You all know what's happening next. Just like what I said when I was about to do the Game Boy Advance video, you already know what's happening next. And also like the Game Boy Advance video, I'm very excited for what's happening next. So, thank you for watching. And this is Sir Bop-A-Lot signing out.